Gears of War 2, the second part of the franchise that I absolutely adore. This is the game that really took my breath away, and this was the one that I put the most hours into over all of the Gears of Wars. Now, when this game released in 2008, I never actually managed to have an online subscription right from the start, so I was a couple of months late until Christmas time. Then I managed to get myself Xbox Live. So what I would do is, with my friends, I would play the campaign over and over again, and then also play split screen with my friends on local. We would do 1v1s, we would play against the bots, we would play wingman versus the bots, and we would just overall have a great time. This game was so good in the time. Now, in my opinion, this is the greatest campaign in the Gears of War series, and I believe the multiplayer maps are the best out of the bunch as well. So the maps in Gears of War 2 were Allfather's Garden, we had Avalanche, we had Blood Drive, Canals returning from Gears of War 1, we had Courtyard, Day 1, Flood, Fuel Depot, another map returning from the classic Gears of War 1, Fuel Station, Gold Rush, Gridlock again coming from Gears of War 1, Grindyard, Hail, Highway, Jacinto, Mansion, another one from DLC from Gears of War 1, Memorial, Nowhere, Pavilion, River, Sanctuary, Security, Status, Subway, Tyro Station, Underhill, War Machine, Way Station. Now let me know your thoughts and opinions on these maps and which one was your favourite to play in Gears of War 2. Now Gears 2 had quite a few new additions added from Gears of War 1. They had Training Grounds, which was basically a learning game. You would do your basics, the execution rules, respawning, objective and submission. Just the new things that got added to Gears of War 2 and give you a heads up of what to come. Now we had obviously the classic multiplayer where we had ranked, we had social and we had customs, and we also had the amazing split screen and local. Now we had some of the best game modes, it's been added to this game, and some of them have carried on through the series. Starting off, we had Warzone, we had Execution, Annex, King of the Hill, Guardian, Submission, Horde, Wingman, and then we had the map packs as well with some of these game modes, which you could manage to find at the time, but you will never manage to find any of those now. We had the classic Horde, which has now been added. This was a brand new game mode added to Gears of War 2, where you would take on the bosses and where you would fight your way from wave 1 right up until 50. Now this wasn't for the faint-hearted, this was very hard. You would have to do it with a squad and you would have to think of a strategy, find a spot, defend your battle and make sure you take out all of the enemies. Each wave was getting harder and harder. Now just to showcase you what happens on wave 50, the Horde grows stronger, 2.5 times damage, 2.5 times health and 2.5 times accuracy. There is no chance you are doing this solo. You have to have a 5-man and you have to have a strategy and you have to manage to try and defend your way. Now man, another amazing thing that was added to the Gears of War 2 was the War Journal. There was a few things that you would manage to unlock and things you would be able to keep track on. Collectibles was an amazing thing that they brought into the series, where you would obviously go through the campaign collecting all these things and you could actually go into each one and read about them. There was a lot of hidden lore inside of each one of these, and most of these were achievements as well, so you had to work your way through the War Journal and collect them as you were playing the campaign. Unlockables was another thing which was added to Gears of War 2, where you would actually have to do the campaign and work on trying to unlock the new characters that were in the game. If you played Gears of War 1, you would have managed to unlock Carmine, Ram, and also Ming by just completing a few achievements in Gears of War 1. They also had photos which you could obviously in-game capture and then keep them in your war journal. You could share them, upload them to the channel, upload them on YouTube, or show them to your friends online as well. Obviously ranked leaderboards was such an important thing back in time. This is where you manage to keep track of your KD, your win-loss, and all the other information for yourself and your friends. One of my good friends, Homicide, was one of the best in Warzone at the time. He would be grinding with 5 stacks and getting all the kills. You know, he was a very, very, very good player, and you know, this was fun back in the day to keep your KD and win-loss. And you had social leaderboards, custom leaderboards, horde leaderboards, and also you could see your achievements all the way as well and see how much you were away from actually unlocking each of the achievements. The characters that you were able to play with in this game were Marcus, you had Kim, you had Coltrane, you had Bigard, Dom, Anthony Carmine, Benjamin Carmine, Dizzy, Hoffman. Now the Locusts were Grenadier Elites, Grenadiers, Theranon Guards, Theranon Sentinels, Cyclops, Beach Riders, Ram, Drones, and Snipers. And you got to choose between the Hammerburst and also the Lancer. So if you were a big Gears of War collector, you would have went for the limited edition with a steel case. You got some extra little parts with it as well, with the beneath the surface inside book about Gears of War 2, the lore, and you have got the extra Gears of War 2 gold Lancer as well for you to play online. And I do believe there was a gold Hammerburst as well.
Fully guarded Locust Highway. Now they can go in guns blazing as they normally do, or they can don some Theron armor and take a slightly more stealthy approach. Keep your eyes peeled along the way. You might run into an old friend from Gears 1, and we hope you enjoy it.
Now, Gears of War 2 Ram's DLC came out in 2011, edited part that they couldn't manage to put into the actual campaign, so they brought it as a DLC. This was an amazing asset to the game 3 years after the game was released. The game was still very popular in 2011, but when they brought this out, this brought back so many other people to the game, and it enhanced the population a little bit more for more time. Now, the big question I want to ask you guys is, if you can remember back to the time when you came to this DLC and you got to choose which path, what path did you choose? Did you go stealth or did you go guns blazing?
I want to kill them all.
Now, unlike Gears of War 1, you can actually still find games on Gears of War 2 at any time when you start searching, but the only game mode you can find on Gears 2 is Ranked Guardian in 2023, so at least you can still play online, you can still work on your online achievements and your kills and your Seriously 2.0 and stuff, so that's one good thing I would say that Gears 2 has over Gears of War 1 at this moment. And I really do like the original searching screen where you can see how many found players are at one time. Now, obviously, Guardian is such a fun game mode. It was not in Gears of War 1, but when they brought it for Gears of War 2, it was a very popular game mode. You know, defend the leader, you know, you got to play as Hoffman, and when you were in the Locust side, you would play and you have to defend Scourge. So overall, the multiplayer experience is still very good on Gears 2. You can still play online, you can still do privates, you can host up, you can play campaign, you can do horde, and there's obviously a lot of achievements and a lot of cool things you can do regarding Gears 2. So I would say this is definitely above Gears 1 in my opinion at the moment. This is the game where they adapted and changed a few things. Power weapons, torque bow, you managed to get collateral headshots, which I really loved. Obviously, this became a huge part of the community where people were doing montaging, and this has always stuck in my roots. You know, I was a montager back in the day, so I've got a soft spot for that kind of thing. Now, let me know your thoughts and opinions on Gears of War 2 weapons. What is your favourite one, and what was the newest weapon that they added to Gears 2 that you used the most and you enjoyed playing with? So again, guys, I just want to thank you all for tuning in for another episode. This was Gears of War 2, going over all the weapons and all the characters and the history about Gears 2. I hope this brought back some nostalgia for you. I really do enjoy this game, and again, just a big shout out to Epic Games and, you know, all the creators that designed the trilogy. This is a masterpiece, and I love Gears of War to death, and I really do hope that we see a Phoenix collection coming very soon. I'm going to have another few videos coming out soon, going over my thoughts and opinions and what I expect to see from Gear 6 and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Just want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be Gears of War 3.